Thanks for coming out and watching the oxymoronic Reddit Professional Show, where I showcase the best and worst of the internet. Here I comment on brilliant and hilarious comment chains regarding dumb shit on the internet for you to enjoy. Make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell button so that you get notifications every time we come up with a new video. Enjoy this week's show.
Why You're Really Not Financially Free, written by someone not trying to part you from your money. About me. I currently own a 10M and CPG business. We have many products on Amazon, in retail locations and D2C via Shopify. Obviously my advice won't be completely universal, but may be helpful to some of you here. This post is about why you are not financially free, through the lens of this subreddit, entrepreneur. Kind of a meme from the other post by the Ponzi scheme dude today. I think one of the most important things to understand about being an entrepreneur is the basic concept of finding a need, and filling that gap. The easier this is to do, the less lucrative it is. The less time it takes, the less lucrative it is. The less money it takes to start, the less lucrative it is. That's why you can be an Uber driver and make minimum wage anytime, because anybody can do it. Things you may be doing that I think is a waste of your time. Reading endless books about being an entrepreneur, under some delusion that when you hit 10, 20, 50, 100 books, you will magically now have enough knowledge to start a business. FYI, I didn't even read any entrepreneur books until after I was already a business owner. Then I heard Rich Dad Poor Dad was amazing, but I read it, and honestly thought it was a joke, and I roll my eyes when I start reading anything else. So, yeah, I don't think these are all that helpful. Endless books that help you gain perspective won't make you an entrepreneur, in my opinion. Spending effort networking at entrepreneur groups, like this one LOL, to try to learn something from others. Endlessly planning your big venture, sorting out accountants, LLCs, strategy decks, etc., but never actually starting. Focus on starting, aka, go out there and get yourself a sale. Trying to go too big, like developing an app that's going to be the next Google, or whatever. Perhaps go smaller, something that can do that you don't need a string of 100 things to go right to be successful. Things that you may be doing that might be a financial drain, thus stopping you from your dream of being an entrepreneur. Buying shit you do not need. Being an entrepreneur is actually expensive, and perhaps not in the way you think. It's expensive to try and fail, but it's actually more expensive to try and succeed. Imagine you are successful and get a $1 million purchase order from Walmart. Where are you going to get the funds to pay for this? Seriously, stop buying shit you don't need and start saving money. You need a workus to start a business, pretty much no matter what you do. Spending money on things you think will help you become an entrepreneur. Salesforce, MailChimp, expensive website design, legal fees to consult on your business that does not exist, etc. Stop. Get everything you can get free. Free shit exists. You don't need enterprise-level software if you aren't an enterprise. Remove any financial drains possible. If you don't have a kid yet, and are trying to become a business owner, don't have one yet. Wait a bit, because having a kid will not only be a financial drain, but a time drain, and will in a very literal sense cut your chances of being successful in business by a lot. I won't make this into a personal finance post, but this is a huge tip. Starting a business. Skill, money, and time. These three things are what you need most of if you are trying to start a business. I think a lot of people try to buy a skill, paying for a course, school, etc., then have no money left, spent on said course, and lastly don't carve out enough time for their business and therefore fail. Life gets in the way. It's sexy to sell side hustles where you can work 1 hour a week from the beach and collect a check in the mail. This doesn't exist in a replicable way. When I started my business, I wouldn't have wanted to work 1 hour a week anyway. I was so obsessed I'd work all day and relax by working some more. I carved out a ton of time to make this all happen. I do believe the more time you spend on your business, the more chance of success you will have. I have dreams of chillin' at the beach 7 days a week too, and at this point I totally could. But I have bigger, better dreams of the company being even more successful than it is now. I think people should look inwardly to what skills they currently have. Can you design things? Start an advertising agency. Are you from another country? Maybe there is something interesting that is popular there, you can bring here. No skills. Get into something time intensive, like a moving company perhaps. Whatever it is you want to do, focus on getting a sale. Literally make it one of the first things you do. And when you fail, ask for feedback. You'll be learning about what the decision-making process is for your customer. Trying to figure that all out beforehand trying is going to be almost useless. I think sometimes people focus on things like logo, branding, etc. because they are things they control. It's something you can make, like a logo. Whereas actually trying to make a sale, that's daunting. So people focus on the easy tasks like making a logo, because it's something they can do now. It's challenging to take the leap to actually work towards the sale, but that's what more people should be doing. Totally agree. I can't launch, my logo needs more work, I can't launch, my software needs this added feature, I can't launch, I need to change my A Corp to AZ Corp, I can't launch, I am still reading this book from Lame Cardoni. I made a product page for a product we're still working on, we have the product but don't have the packaging or labeling dialed in yet. Turns out that product accidentally went live in the website and we've sold several of them already far before they were ready for prime time. It's a weird problem to have LOL. Proof that you shouldn't wait to try to get a sale. Good job. Agreed. I tell anyone, you want a skill that will carry with you for life, learn sales. Get a sales job. Salespeople have thick skin dealing with rejection all the time. They are scrappy because usually many sales jobs don't have the full resources but yet still expect you to hit quota, so it forces you to be creative and think outside the box for alternative solutions. You will also learn to be cautious and calculating since some sales environments can be brutal where other reps try to sabotage and steal your sales. Lastly, you'll be a great communicator. All these can be transferable to business IMO. Agreed. Having a sales process that's replicatable is 80% of the problem in most businesses, I'd say. It's all the goddamn YouTube ads giving people the wrong ideas about grind and hustle. FFS, it's not grind and hustle, it's customer service and finding need in the market. Or doing what someone else is doing but better or not better, but just as good. Ugh. Call someone and sell. Get a verbal commitment including timeline and budget leading up to a contract or LOI. You don't even need to have a real product until that last part. Can't make a sale. Work on your pitch, try again. Still can't make a sale. Ask them what they want, tweak your offer, try again. Still can't make a sale. Back to your day job, buddy. There, your idea validated in 1 week and little Timmy still has a college fund. Regardless of your opinion about Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall St., he said he would spend 4 hours working on his sales pitch just to spend the next day revising it. Selling isn't easy. It certainly isn't, but it beats betting the farm on untested assumptions. We spent years now. Our presentations to retailers are an evolution from where we began. Every time we learn something new and tweak it a little. I worked for a founder who was convinced the enterprise-level software, Salesforce Lightning, Marketing Cloud, Inbox, and Social Studio, was an absolute requirement because the data would make the business more valuable when it was time to sell. She still spends half her time convincing Salesforce to give the company a discount because her company is providing Salesforce with a great small business test case. Meanwhile, she's technologically illiterate and doesn't understand the massive scale of Salesforce, that it isn't plug and play and takes some sort of know-how to customize and connect to Shopify. 2 years in and Salesforce has become a brick of an expensive Rolodex because she can't focus hard enough to decide what data she wants to collect on the dashboard, as she's under the mistaken impression that she wants all data at her immediate fingertips, without understanding that hoarding data immediately makes all data less valuable. Meanwhile, she and her husband, the only salespeople, have sourced and paid for research and processes on how to use Salesforce for the one dashboard that does exist, yet both are literally too dyslexic and tech incompetent to follow a set of instructions and charts that they paid for to record their B2B sales in the system, which again, makes the whole system a useless Rolodex from which they sent the occasional poorly researched marketing email. They're skilled enough to have a few CPG accounts under their belts, but Jesus Christ, do I feel that you don't need to be paying for this thing hard. It's bad enough to be spending the money on it, but to spend even more on consultants etc. to help you handle it because you aren't sure what it does or how to effectively utilize it, then to not even bother taking advantage of that knowledge, sheesh. Haha, nice. I see people do the same. NetSuite, marketing agency, virtual CMO, profitability dashboards. So much crap that at the end of the day you aren't even making a dime anymore, and so much information bombarding you that you have no time anymore either. Yeah, I mean, the big issue is that you can claim to be data obsessed all you want, but if you don't have the skills to pick out what data is relevant, then none of it is relevant. If it's all important, none of it is important. Salesforce may give you the ability to tell you what percentage of your customers' last names end in Y, but I have yet to find a use case for that. But people told me having all the data is how I am going to get rich. Right. For everything I do in business, I try to distill exactly the details of what is making something work, down to a few steps, like here it is, this is why it makes us money, this is how we can do it more. If I can't succinctly explain the above, then it's probably not helping the company make more money. For some reason people think finding some odd data point in their data is going to make them rich. Like, women from the Bronx buy our product 30% more. So f***ing what? If your business requires you to find details like this out just to be profitable, working on the marketing/product/offer is going to be way more fruitful. I've done analytics for the last 2 decades in all sorts of industries, and the first thing I like do when taking on a new engagement is to get a list of all the reports and dashboards in use and figure out what we can throw out. For those tools to provide value, it needs to accomplish one of the following. Identify new products, services, or markets to sell to. Identify existing products, services, or markets to not sell to. Automate some form of decision-making such that we can increase sales or lower costs. Reducing the cognitive load of your operations and managerial teams is one of the most important things we do. Way too many instances of us using data that doesn't directly tie into a business process with one of the above goals in mind. And now you've got people wasting hours doing things that don't make a difference. Exploratory data analysis is important, but for it to deliver value, you need to train your team to do it efficiently and to use the business context to identify what's important to the organization's goals. I still have to knock this concept into the brains of my employees. For example, we have mid-5-figure followers on Instagram. So not that big but not nothing. In respect to sales, it generates less than 1% of our revenue. Reminding my team about this is important because we don't need to do endless data reporting and put endless hours into this. It's not what is financially driving the business. Is it something we should work on? Sure, but it should still fit snugly into its order of importance. People have a hard time doing things in the correct order based on importance, I have found. If left to their own devices, I believe my team would put 90% of their effort into social media and endlessly updating our product pages to make the branding a little better. Haha.
If you enjoyed this week's effective way to waste time, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you're enjoying the series, leave me a comment below. A special shout out to the content creators. You frickin' rock.